Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, we all know why we're here. The design preview part 2 of the Skull Merchant rework is out. And of course, I'm gonna talk about my opinions on it. Oh my god, yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry if this took quite a while for it to come out. I wasn't able because I wasn't home. I really wasn't able to record anything because I wasn't even at my computer. Um, so yeah. Um, but I'm back now, so I'm ready to record and basically talk about what I like and what I don't like about these changes. Um, Spoiler alert, I'm very mixed about these changes. I'm very iffy about it. I'm kind of torn, I guess is the best way to explain it, on what we're getting here. Um so basically if you don't know what the whole rework is, we're gonna go through it now, but in the most basic way possible to say is she now has two types of drones. She has the first drone, which is basically how it works now. You deploy a drone and it has scan lines and it scans survivors. So the difference is that now these drones don't injure survivors, but instead they just scan survivors. And then her second drone is one little drone buddy thing that they said that follows you around. And well, I'm gonna tell you now what that drone does. Don't worry, I'm gonna tell you. But anyways, so and then she gets she has a third ability, which is this global detection range, where once something fills up, you could scan the entire area and survivors who are either walking or running get detected. Yeah, yeah. I have my thoughts on that. I have my thoughts on that. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my mic. We'll get into it. But anyways, so the whole point of this is that the drones that you deploy around the map, you will now be able to basically control them, and they can injure survivors by dashing towards them. So apparently with the drones, you could power up a dash, and when you hit a survivor with that dash, it will give that survivor a claw trap. Now, with that claw trap, this is where the second drone buddy that follows you comes in. So apparently, this drone buddy is going to have a projectile, like an EMP kind of attack, that is only going to injure, I'm sorry, not injure, is only going to damage survivors who have a claw trap. So if a survivor is not claw trapped, that EMP thing will not work. The projectile will not damage or down them. It will not. So basically, from what I'm seeing, what they want the loop, the gameplay loop to be, is when you're chasing a survivor, you want to basically make them go into your web of drones so that you could propel one of your drones to them, injure them, plus get the claw trap, and then get the easy down with your EMP projectile, which it's gonna work like an unknown projectile. It kind of has a radius and it goes through walls. Well, I'll show you. I'll show you, and then I'll go into detail on what I think about these changes. So I think that's basically it about the changes. That's pretty much it. So all in all, the positives that I will say is this is interesting. This is definitely very interesting. And I would like to see how this would play out in game. However, I'm not interested. I, I'm I don't like the way this sounds. Let me turn off. Wait, let me put my phone on vibrate so that we don't hear any notifications. There we go. I don't like the way this sounds. Like, it sounds like behavior is she sounds like she has a clump of so many things. She has the global detection thing that kind of acts like doctors a power thing where like he knows where everybody is inside his terror radius. She then has a dash like I don't know how it's I don't know we don't know how it's gonna work. It's either gonna be like how Victor works, how Blight works, how Wesker. We don't know. It might even work like Cenobites hook. We have no idea. And then she has like the unknowns attack power, um just a lot of stuff. She has so much. And honestly, like, the whole loop of what they want us to do, it doesn't sound cute to me. It doesn't really catch my eye. Like, the best way I could explain it is a new killer comes out and it's literally this rework, right? I would literally see that killer, I'll read the power, I'll see how it works, and I'll just be like, oh, cool. And then never pick up the killer. Maybe I'll play the killer for like one game or two just to see how they are, and I'm like, oh, this is fun, whatever, you know? But then I'll just never play them because it doesn't really catch my eye. Like, this whole playstyle, it just doesn't sound super fun to me. Maybe it is fun. Again, we haven't played it, but it I don't want to say anything too strong. I don't want to have I don't want to have like strong opinions when I haven't even played it yet. But they've changed so much about her. Like, I feel like they've changed a lot about the Skull Merchant and what I truly love about her. I will give them something. Like I said, it's interesting what they're doing. It's a totally different, like I said, a totally different killer. What we have now, what we're gonna get. And I like the fact that she has an M2. I honestly really love that. Even before this was happening, you know, many people were asking me like, hey, like, what would be your rework idea for the Skull Merchant, or like what would you want the Skull Merchant to have? And I never gave any type of like rework ideas because I'm not creative like that. And I feel like maybe I do have an idea, maybe, but I don't feel confident enough to share it. So I just never really talk about it. But what I did say is I really wish Skull Merchant would have some type of M2 ability. And what I mean by an M2 ability, I mean something like, you know how, like, for example, the pig, she has her dash. You know, granted, it's not a good dash, but it's a dash nonetheless, and it could help you get hits. I was thinking that maybe the Skull Merchant could have something like that where she charges her what is it called, the dual blades, and she just like slashes a bitch. Like, she just jumps and slashes a bitch, you know? Just something like that. Because currently, as an all she has is an M1. You know, granted, you know, she's always had the hindered and the haste, but I still thought I still wanted an M2 ability. I still wanted it. So I'm glad that she has now an M2 ability. The problem that I have with this is, like I said, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it when I play it, because it's super. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. My favorite version of Skull Merchant ever was Skull Merchant 1.0. That is my favorite killer ever. I loved her. First of all, I love her visual design, of course, but her power, like the power that she had, I loved it. Was it weak? Many people said it was, but I didn't care because guess what? It was fun to use it for me. It was fun to use. I loved the whole micromanaging of those drones. putting them on putting them on generators, not 3 genning. I'm not saying 3 genning. However, you do put your drones on gens because obviously survivors are going to be on gens. I love putting them on it when they go into scouting mode. I love manually putting them back into active mode. I love like knowing where every survivor is, where if a survivor is touching this generator or if a survivor is touching that generator, oh, this survivor got the claw trap, let me go and get her. And then it was, and Chase Merchant was fun. She was so fun in that version using prototype rotor and advanced movement prediction. I think those are the 2 add-ons that she used. Like, it was fun to me. It was so fun. And I liked the rework that we got. I truly did like the rework because basically what the second rework was it was like what I liked doing as Skull Merchant, but more heavily like they basically made her into a chase merchant and less of a merchant that like just puts drones at generators. Instead of putting it in generators, you put loops. That's like the main difference. And it's literally just my favorite kind of gameplay with Skull Merchant. So I liked version 2.0. Did I like it more than 1.0? No, but I still had a lot of fun with it, especially when they introduced switching the rotation of the drones. I thought that was super fun. I had so much fun. Y'all know I love playing with my drones and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. So yeah, I loved version 1.0, and I was really hoping that they would, for this third rework, they would basically blend the 2 versions of the Skull Merchant that we know of together to basically give this killer that has a mix of both, but I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening, y'all. And it's also sad because I'm also thinking about the Skull Merchant community, because the Skull Merchant community, they're going to be very divided on these changes. There's going to be many that like this change, and there's going to be many that will stop playing the Skull Merchant because of these changes, because they don't like the way the Skull Merchant works. And it's really sad because she doesn't have a big community. We're not a big community, but we're very dedicated to the character. We are very passionate about her. We really want the Skull Merchant to succeed. We want her to be the very best that she can be, both in power and in fun wise. I'm not talking about no S tier. She doesn't have to be in A tier. Nothing of that. She literally, she could be in D tier. That's fine. Just make the best that she could be, and also being fun. That's just all that we want. We just want what's best for her. And I feel like with this design, with this rework, it's just going to be very, you're gonna have 2 sides. One side that loves it, one side that hates it, and then stops playing Skull Merchant. And then her fan base will basically shrink. Of course, there's gonna be more people that are going to come into the fan base, because of, well, they like the new design of the Skull Merchant. But still, that's like a problem with reworks like this that just change so much. Like, I used to be a Symmetra main in Overwatch. If you played Overwatch, there was a character called Symmetra. I used to love her. I used to play her all the time. My favorite version of hers was her 2.0 era with the shield generator and stuff like that. I would get flamed for playing her on attack, but I didn't care. But anyways, that's besides the point. She got a third rework that basically turned her from a support to a DPS. And of course, the Symmetra mains were divided. They didn't know whether they liked her as a DPS or as a support. There was many people that still mained her, and then there's a lot of people that left, including me. I stopped playing Symmetra because I didn't like her design. I didn't. I stuck with Mercy. And before you ask, yes, I can aim. Yes, I can aim. It's just a design. It's just I like the gameplay. But anyways, um, besides that, I'm very, as much as I have my, thoughts on the rework, I'm still willing to give it a chance and see how it is, see how I feel, see how everybody else feels. Because honestly, the thing is that you never know. You never know until you play it. Maybe I'll play her and I had the time of my life. You never know. Hey, you never fucking know. So, yeah, that's basically how I basically feel about this rework. Um, Also, some things, because they did change some stuff. So, first of all, we've removed the killer aura reveal when hacking a drone. Um, Thank you. Why? First of all, I'm not saying like why remove it as in like bitch. I'm saying why as in like why was that even in the first design preview? Like the thing is that that doesn't even make any sense. Like when you hack a drone, you see the killer's aura. Why? Why? Like I don't get it, you know? I don't get that. I'm glad that they removed it because it made no sense. Like literally, like if you are playing against a Swift, this will be so detrimental to you because you will never you won't ever be able to put down drones because if you put down a drone, you're the survivors are gonna get free aura reading all the time, and yeah, you're never gonna have a power. You're never gonna have a power. So I'm glad that they removed this. The global detection power detects survivors who are running or walking, keeping this consistent with how drones detect players. Okay, so it used to be the global detection power used to only scan survivors who are running, which I kind of thought that was so dumb. I thought that was so dumb. Like I feel like the global detection power should just scan you whether you're walking or running. If you're standing still or maybe like I don't know, crouching or whatever, like that's when you should not be scanned. But anyways, that's besides my point. By the way, the global detection power, I haven't talked about this. Let me actually talk about this. um it sounds interesting. I love the idea. However, this is not a good ability. This is not a good ability at all. You're never going to get survivor scanned. Never. This is never going to help you because guess what? There's going to be a sound trigger. It says that there's going to be like a sound trigger when it's being activated. Survivors are just going to stand still. They're not they're not going to do shit. They'll hear it and just stand still. You're not going to get any value off of this. Unless I don't know, like you're chasing a survivor and then you do your whole ability, and of course the survivor being chased is going to run, so they're going to be on your radar, but like what's the point if you know they're in front of you? So this global detection power thing, it needs work. It has potential. I like the whole idea of it. I think that, is it overpowered if I say that it should just scan you whether or not you're like doing anything? I feel like for this to be good, it would have to be something like it just scans you immediately, no matter what. Obviously, let them know, like, hey, the skull merchant knows where you are now. You know what I mean? But like, it should just scan you, just period. Whether you're walking, running, standing still, whatever. Like, it should just scan you. Maybe not when you're doing a generator. Maybe. But yeah, that's what I think. Stealth drone scan lines are now visible, but will not extend entirely down to the ground, providing a visual indicator for survivors to crouch walk as a counter action. Okay, so besides the fact that I love the way her drones look, like the scan lines, I could understand doing this. I get it. You want to let survivors know that you could literally crouch to avoid being scanned. Okay, like I get that. Fine. Again, the Skull has 2 types of drones, 5 deployable stealth drones, and then the 1 drone buddy, not separate AI controlled entity. Stealth drones function as previously stated, but drone propulsion only injures, not downs survivors. Of course. And then survivors hit by a drone propulsion is tagged and tracked with a claw trap. Claw traps can be removed by survivors following a held interaction, which, by the way, we're gonna get to it, but like basically, so when a survivor gets the claw trap, obviously, you know, they're gonna get like they're going to get like the ability to remove it themselves when they feel they could. I'm like kind of curious if there's a time that you have before you could remove the claw trap, or if it's just you get the claw trap, you could immediately remove it if you want to. I'm very curious on how that is, because if you could just immediately remove the claw trap after receiving it, then that's not good at all. That's not good at all. No. No. Because then what's the point? If you're all the way on the other side of the map, a survivor gets scanned, you then send that drone that scanned them flying into them, giving them the claw trap, and then now you're on your way to then, you know, catch them with your EMP thing or whatever. By the time you get there, I don't know how much time you need. Like, I don't know how much time like doing the action of removing the claw trap. Like maybe it's what, 12 seconds, 8 seconds. I don't know. But I'm assuming it's gonna be gone by the time you're already there to get the down with the EMP. So then like what's the point of the claw trap? Like what's the point? You know what I mean? Like if claw traps are something that like you should only use when you're in chase and you're at near the survivor, it doesn't sound good. It just doesn't sound good. But well, we don't know how it works. Hopefully it's still the same, that you have to have the claw trap on you for like 45 seconds or 30 seconds, and then you could remove it once the battery drains or whatever. Hopefully it's like that. Also, Skull Merchant gains an activatable ability if fires EMP dart from her drone buddy. Like I said, this range attack has a small AoE and down survivors tracked with a claw trap. The EMP dart does not hurt survivors if they are not tracked with a claw trap. And that's on period. So yeah, your first order of business is to use most of the tools in your arsenal to figure out where survivors are. You begin deploying stealth drones and piloting it to a high traffic loop where you leave it passively scanning. Okay, switching focus back to Skull Merchant, you head towards another loop, activating your global detection power in hopes of hatching a survivor heading to their first gen. Okay, now my thing about this is like, what, like, okay, the stealth drones, do they just scan survivors? Because like that's my thing as well. Like, is the survivor, like, I'm trying to think of it, like the whole gameplay of like the drones is they want you to put it somewhere where survivors are going to be, you know, walking or running. They get scanned, and when they get scanned, you know which drone they're at. You get that drone, you get into that POV of the drone, and then hit them with that dash. I don't like that. Like, I don't know. I don't like that. And especially like I'm thinking about it in like a lore perspective. Why would Skull Merchant want to break her drones by hitting a survivor? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Adriana would like that. Like, she literally spent her time making that drone. Like, why would she just like hit it on a survivor? You know, like that just doesn't make that. I don't. You know what? Lore doesn't matter in gameplay, whatever. But anyways, so yeah. Apparently, like the global detection power in hopes of catching a survivor heading to their first gen, which by the way, that's never, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. With how the global detection power is, never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. It's not a good ability, girl. Both the global detection power and your passive stealth drone detect separate survivors, notifying you of their whereabouts on your radar. You're now ready, perfectly situated for a chase. Sí, como no. Tag and track. Switching focus back to the idling stealth drone, you see the survivor who was detected running away. Making use of the stealth drone's increased movement speed, you give chase. Mid-chase, you see an opportunity to strike, launching your stealth drone with your drone propulsion and hitting the survivor. Not only does this injure them, but it attaches a claw trap to them. This inflicts the broken status effect and tracks the survivor on your radar. So yeah. Also, first of all, these drawings are super cute. And second of all, I love the fact that like when the drone hits the survivor doodle, it has thwack. It literally has thwack as like the hitting sound. I think that is so cute. The fact that you're using the Skull Merchant's perk. Like, I live. While drone propulsion can't be used to down a survivor, this opens them up to her other ability. So, I'm sorry. So basically, this is what I mean by the EMP. At this point, Skull Merchant could take matters into her own hands and hunt down the claw trap survivor by hand with an M1 attack. But where's the fun in that? Hover over her shoulder at all times is her prized buddy drone, which hides a secret weapon. By charging up and releasing an activatable ability when in control of Skull Merchant, her buddy drone fires a short to mid-range EMP dart that hits a small AoE. If a survivor is being tracked with a claw trap, the dart will activate this fearsome contraption, downing them. Good hunting. Like you're seeing, like, I'm like picturing the whole gameplay loop of the Skull Merchant. Like I'm really picturing it. You're chasing a survivor. They run into your web of drones, and when you see the perfect time to like send your drone out, oh my goodness, now me almost dropping my microphone. I'm sorry if that was loud, y'all. But anyways, when you see that time to send that shit down to them, you do it. They get the claw trap. Boom, now they are injured and vulnerable. You have the EMP shot, you send it to them, and period, you got the down. Like, it sounds interesting. Like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't sound interesting. It does. It's interesting. It's a different type of gameplay for her. I just don't know how much I would enjoy it. I just don't know how I would enjoy it. The trapping, being a trap killer, it's still kind of there. I mean, no, not really. It's not really trapping. It's not really a trap killer. She's not really trapped. No, it's more like area control, surveillance. I'm gonna stay quiet until I try the rework. By the way, behavior, I don't think y'all are watching this, but if you're watching this, I need y'all to put this bow onto the buddy drone. Okay? I'm gonna need you to put it, and I need you to put it on the side from the POV of us, so that I could see my drone with the bow. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. And that idle animation of the Skull Merchant in the lobby, you know, like when she does her whole thing, like she does her little thing on her radar, puts her arms up, and then the drone comes flying down to her arm. I want that to be her buddy drone. I want to see the bow in her idle animation lobby. Yes. Anyways. That was a little tangent. I'm just gonna stop. Anyways, a survivor perspective. All that's well and good, but if you're a survivor, how are you supposed to deal with these high-tech tools? Stealth drone passively scanning an area, either crouch walk to avoid the scan lines or hack it to send this drone back to Skull Merchant's personal stores. Like, this is one thing about the rework that, like, I don't want to say. Okay, this is the thing that I really don't like about this rework. I feel like they've been putting into consideration a lot more the survivor's perspective rather than the killer's perspective while playing the Skull Merchant. They've really tried to make it like, so like, I feel like they've tried to make the Skull Merchant more easier to counter, I guess. I don't want to say easier, because Skull Merchant has, in her 2.0 era, she's always been easy to counter, and it's crazy that many people gave up on her because all you have to do is crouch. That's all you have to do. You just have to crouch. Crouch, force her to M1 you, and you're good. That's it. She wants to give you the cloud trap, so just don't give her the cloud trap. Force her to M1 you. That's literally the main thing about Skull Merchant. It's so easy to counter her, and it's crazy that many people were so stubborn as to like not learn how to just crouch. But I beg to differ. I'm just gonna stay quiet. But yes, I feel like that's like a main thing about this rework. They really wanted to make the counterplay for Skull Merchant like so in your face, you know? And I mean, like, to be honest, I get it. I get it. She's arguably the most hated killer in the entire game. Actually, she is the most hated killer in the entire game. So to basically change her whole gameplay style and to make it more, I guess, more obvious how to counter her, it would maybe tone down the hate for her and make oh my god, I can't talk, and make less people basically DC on her, which I get it. I get it. Please, I understand. But here's the thing. People will still DC. No matter what. No matter what you do to the Skull Merchant, she will still be hated by many players, and she will still DC. Even in this rework state, I bet you that there's going to be people who will think that she could still 3-gen. Watch. Trust me, if people were hating on Skull Merchant 2.0, they will hate on this Skull Merchant. And they will find other reasons to hate on her. Trust me. Trust me. So, yes. Anyways. Here the global detection power notification, same as above. Begin crouch walking, or stop moving altogether to avoid having your location given away. Yeah, like I said, you get a notification that it's gonna happen. So literally all you have to do is just crouch walk or stop moving. And it's just kind of like, okay. Like, I feel like it's just such an easy power to counter. It's like, I feel like you're never going to get value from it. I mean, maybe because like I said, we don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know if it's like the detection power is like it stays active for such a long period of time that survivors have to stay still for like maybe 10 seconds. Maybe in those 10 seconds of you walking around the map, you catch a survivor standing still. So then that will help you, you know, like go and get like the first hit or something. I don't know. But as it sounds right now, if it's just something that like scans, like just a swish scan, like I feel like there's just no. Yeah, no, this is not a good power. It's not a good power. It's not gonna work. It might be fun using it though, so I don't know. We'll see. Notice a stealth drone being piloted. Keep to tight loops and be ready to juke to prevent the stealth drone from attaching a claw trap to you. Yeah, exactly. And also, I just want to say, like, I'm really sad that the trap playstyle is kind of done for. You know? I'm just sad that like they just turned her into like another killer with a dash power. Like, I mean, I get it because most players like to play with a dash power, but they just turned her like every other killer. Like, listen, whether you liked her gameplay or not, like if you liked playing as her or not, at least you could admit that like her gameplay was unique. She was a trap killer, but she did work different, slightly different than other trap killers. She was interesting. She definitely was. She may not be your cup of tea, but she was interesting. You know? And they basically just like threw all of that away. And it's just sad to me. It's really sad to me, but I get it. I'm trying to keep an open mind to this. I'm trying. um Afflicted with a cloud trap and see the skull merchant approaching. Be ready to juke her EMP dart. It has a short charge time, so use this to put an obstruction between you both. Yep, absolutely. Of course. Afflicted with a claw trap being feeling hidden, hold the interact button to remove it. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of like, I thought when I read this, like remove it, I thought they meant like how it was in her PTV in the Tools of Torment chapter, that like after 45 seconds you had to play the minigame again to remove it. But no, it's basically like the meter of removing it. So I don't know. And I'm assuming it's gonna work like if you get interrupted or if you stop removing it, it's going to reset everything. So then if you want to try and remove it again, you have to basically start all over from the beginning. If not, this is terrible. This is so terrible. Please, if at the very least, make this reset if the survivor gets interrupted or something, please. And yeah, so if you can, please go and give your thoughts and opinions to the dev team about this rework, whether you like it, love it, dislike it, hate it, if you're neutral. Like I said throughout this entire video, I feel very 50-50 about it. I feel very 50-50 about it. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. Like I said, I've never played it. Maybe I'm gonna fall. Maybe I'm gonna love this version of the Skull Merchant. Maybe I'm not. It's just, this feels a lot different than what I know the Skull Merchant to be. It's way different than the Skull Merchant that I love. So I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. And honestly, at this point, she is in such a horrible state right now where, like, at this point, just give me anything. Give us anything. Honestly, give her anything. Give her a blight dash, please. Just make her get out of D tier. Please make her C tier. At least, at the very least, minus C, C minus, whatever. Just give her something. Like at this point, I'm willing to try out anything with her. And you know, even if I don't specifically love this gameplay of her, I'm still gonna play her. Because guess what? She is my favorite character in the entire game. She is. I love her. I love the Skull Merchant. I love her visual design. She is, in my opinion, the baddest, most prettiest character in the entire game. I love her lore. It's not perfect, but I love the whole idea of her lore so much. I love her weapon animation. I love all of her animations, including her Mori, even though all of y'all love to talk shit about her Mori. I love her Mori. I love all of her cosmetics. I think all of her cosmetics eat, even the ones that I'm personally not a fan of. Except that one Battle Pass skin, which we will not be talking about for obvious reasons. But yes, I'm still gonna play her. Because I love her. She's the only character that, like, I formed a bond, and I don't know if that's like a weird thing, but like I form bonds with characters. Also, I don't know if y'all can see that free up storage. Yeah, ooh. I need to free up some storage. But anyways, no, but yeah, I don't know if that's weird to like form bonds with characters, but like that's kind of like what I do whenever I main a character in a video game. I kind of form this bond with them. I form this like this love, this obsession with a character, you know. And I do love Yunjin Lee, Survivor, don't get me wrong, but I never had that bond with her. When the Skull Merchant came out and the Tools of Chapter came out and I saw every single person hating on her and everything. I was here falling in love with her, and I was like, why is everyone hating? She a baddie. She's literally a baddie. Why is everyone hating? so, so yeah. I'm still gonna play her, so don't worry, you guys. I'm still gonna play her, even if this won't be my favorite iteration of her. Because it's still fun, you know, her whole aesthetic of like drones and stuff like that. So, yeah. But, anyways, that is gonna be it for today's video. Again, I'm so sorry for being so late to this. Please, if you have any opinions on the rework, please let me know down below. If you're a Skull Merchant main, or if you're not, let me know down in the comments below what you think of it. And of course, tell the devs what you think about it. Go ahead, go to the forums. I'll put the forum link actually down below so you could. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next time. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.